Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this postmortem of my Blitz game number 600. I had white pieces and started off with knight f3, thinking to play a Reti opening. My opponent surprised me a bit by playing c5. And I really didn't react in the best way. I played d4, which you see is way down on the list. The top move here, e4, is just a way of transposing into a Sicilian. e4, c5, knight f3 would be a Sicilian. c4, the second choice, would be a way for going into the English opening, which is a reasonable way to play from this position, or g3 to keep in Reti territory. Those would be the main moves. So if I wanted to play a Reti setup, then I should go with g3. d4 actually lands me in a bit of trouble. After c takes d4, knight takes d4, d5. Black has got good space in the center, and I don't have a whole lot to show for it. And I looked at this with the chess engine. The chess engine says black is just equal in this position. He's not better. But the line that the chess engine gives is pretty strange. It wants me to play e4 and sack a pawn here. So e4 takes, develop the knight attacking. He develops the knight, and you bring the bishop out with check. And you get some development in exchange for the pawn, but it looks like black is going to be able to hold on to that pawn for a while. And anyway, it rates this position as about equal to slightly better for black, meaning, well, you have some compensation for the pawn. It's kind of a bad sign if that's the best the chess engine has for you at that point. Anyway, I played g3 here, keeping with that Reti idea, but he kicks the knight back with e5, and he just sets up this big center, and there was no real way to prevent that after g3. So I could go to b3. That's probably the best choice. When I come back to f3, it just is leaving it there to there'll be another tempo on the knight. Anyway, he played knight to c6. I went bishop g2, goes knight to f6. I castled. So it looks like we're following some game that was played previously, and then finally he plays bishop e7, and we're out of the book. So there's some normal development for a while. The chess engine rates this position as favorable to black, although maybe not completely winning just yet, but pretty good advantage to black. So clearly I screwed up the opening, and I'm looking for ways to try and redeem myself. And one idea I had was to get in this move e4, but he stops that by playing e4 himself. But that's why I played the knight to d2, is to prepare e4. So pretty sharp play, and this drives the knight back, and black really has a pretty dominating position here. He goes with bishop to f5 now, and I try to undermine with c4. Although there's a flaw in this move here, which if you want to think about it, there's a black can just grab that pawn. So that's the if you want to exercise your calculation ability, why is that good for black to just grab a pawn there? Well, it's not too hard to see. When he takes the pawn, I can't take back. My queen is actually loose on the back rank. A pretty unusual situation. I totally overlooked that, although hopefully I would have noticed before taking the pawn that he can just grab my queen. So taking the pawn is a good idea here. It's not really defended at all. Anyway, he pushed on with d4, and this gives me a little bit of hope. Maybe I can cause him to overextend so much that he gets into trouble here. But he manages to hang on to that pawn, and it causes me difficulty throughout the whole game. Let's see, I bring my knight over to c2. He pushes on with d3. So I managed to trade off one of the pawns, and I am hopeful hopeful that I can round up this last one. But it seems difficult. He just drops his bishop back to g6. My knight was hitting it there, and I blockade the pawn. That's the first step to, well, it's the second step. If you follow Nimzovich, his three-part solution to dealing with advanced pawns is to restrain, blockade, and destroy. So it was restrained, now it's blockaded, and now I just have to figure out how to destroy it. But, well, easier said than done. He jumps in with this knight to d4 move. This maybe was not the best move. This gives me a little bit of hope. let's see, in this position, the chess engine just wants to do normal developing moves like rook here, queen to d7, that kind of thing. Just kind of sit on this advantage. These exchanges, you know, if I get deep into an endgame, I have some possibility, some hope that my king can walk over and round up this pawn before his king gets to it. But that's a long way away, and in the meantime, this pawn is a mighty thorn in my side. Okay, so I take the knight, he takes back. I go bishop c3, kicking his queen. Queen just drops back, and knight to d5. So I'm shielding the pawn from his queen. I'm hoping to gather enough force up to round up that pawn. He trades off the knight, take back, and then he brings his rook to b8 to defend the b pawn here. So I lift up my queen, I'm blockading that pawn again, and he pushes on with b5. And I play b3, this is all okay. b4. Here's where I start to go downhill again. So I've been sort of holding my own through this part of it. But I wasn't quite recognizing the importance of this diagonal here. And I just dropped my bishop back to b2. But a better move here would be bishop to d4. You know, just looking at it, you can see it's a more active square for the bishop. But also, the bishop controls two important diagonals. It continues to control this diagonal, which it also would control from b2. But it would also control this diagonal with threats on f2. When I drop back to b2, which is how I played in the game, then he immediately jumped on this, bishop to c5. And now from here on out, black has pressure. Black has an advantage, and he's sort of pushing me around. I try to bring my rook into the game, and he just trades off. Lift my king up to g2 so I can unpin this pawn and move it forward if necessary. Rook takes, rook to e8. So I get rid of the other rook. And now my best defense here is still a position I can hold and draw with the move king to f1. That would be the best defense. The key problem is that I need to control this this e2 square, so this queen can't hop in here. And I also need to control this diagonal so his queen doesn't come into h1 and checkmate me, basically. So with the bishop here and the king on f1, I can set up that kind of defense and just hold on to this position, and then maybe just slide this bishop back and forth along this diagonal. And that would be a way to play it. Let's see. I played my bishop back to f3. And right here, he has a winning move, which is bishop to d4 here. Bishop to e4, rather. Basically, the idea is to trade this bishop off. Here, I'll show it. Bishop e4. And I can't avoid the trade. If I take, he comes in here with check. And now if my king goes here, the queen comes in with checkmate. That was the problem I was referring to earlier. And so the chess engine gave king here as the best move. And now for one thing, white can get to this, black can get to this e2 square with the queen and win that way, although the chess engine also gives this h-pawn push to try and open up lines against my king. Actually, no, I take it back. I think the chess engine wanted to play h6 there just to give his king some lift so that there's no problems on the back rank, and then come in with the queen. Anyway, it looks like this is winning for black. But fortunately for me, he was low on time here and had to make moves, and he didn't find the best moves. So let's see, I played h3. This is not really helping. He played a5. I finally give up and go king f1, which is where I should have gone before. All through that, he still had this bishop e4 move if he had found it. And right here, he could actually take that pawn. That would be good too. But he went here. I dropped my bishop back, played queen to e6. Yeah, he's just kind of shuffling here because he's run out of time and he hasn't got enough time to find the right moves here. Bishop f3, and after a few more moves, we agreed to a draw here because we're just repeating. But black is still winning in this position, and let's see, the one thing he can do once again is bring this bishop in to e4. there was also this sacrificial idea, which is really interesting. Taking here, let's see, queen e6. Let's back up to where it's his move. He can take here. And if I take, he can push the pawn forward. And my queen is pinned. And this is a tricky position for me. Bishop to f3 to try and stop that pawn from queening. And now his queen can come in here with check. And this is how black can win the game. Chase my king off the back rank. And he can immediately get one piece back by taking the bishop. And then secondly, probably the other bishop can be won by advancing the pawn. So black should go on to win that game. So that's the most accurate way to win it from this position. Anyway, instead he went back to e6, repeating the position, and we agreed to a draw here. So got lucky there, a lucky escape. But interesting game. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I will see you again soon.